Hi guys, this is Havoc. Thank you for coming in to watch this video. I'll try and keep it brief. I'm sure you guys are keen to get on with your day. You've spent quite a bit of time watching Crofties, I assume. I hope you enjoyed Crofty's presentation. I hope the channel owners are happy with what we did to their clips. So in case any of you hadn't realised until now, yes, I am Australian. And yes, I literally do have beef. Those are beef belonging to my family. This is a family farm. 2 of those head of cattle actually belong to me. These are the cows and calves that we have. There's other younger cattle and some other cows elsewhere. So I literally do have beef. But I was asked 4 months ago by Cynthia on a comment on a little short of mine, 25 seconds short, the topic of which was Northwoods. And it was just a funny little short. I was taking a funny soundbite from Northwoods, taken out of context. It was really quite funny, and I was appreciative of it. It caused me to laugh at the time I initially heard it out of context when I wasn't paying attention. This just popped up, and it was a few seconds before context was given, and in that time I just was laughing because I needed it. I'd had a few days working on a project that was frustrating, and I just needed that break, and he gave me a good laugh. So I thought it would make a very funny little short. So I did make the short, and when looking at it afterwards, it made me think of the morning after a heavy night out. And it was only a few days after New Year's Eve, so maybe that's what put it in my mind. But it looked like the morning after from hell. So I added some cryptic captions with the intention of trying to recreate that impression, that feeling that some of us, I unfortunately have had it happen a couple of times in my life, waking up the morning after having no idea what happened the night before, wondering what on earth you got up to, and especially when there's something amiss that's really concerning. So I wanted to recreate that confusion, that shock, that bewilderment, and I think I did a pretty good job. Definitely, I managed to confuse Pink Taco, and he's got a pretty wild imagination, so the shock and confuse him definitely worked. It was basically the premise for the Hangover movies rolled up into a 25-second short. I think it worked. I was confident that Northwoods, I shared it because I was confident Northwoods would enjoy it. I've seen him or heard him laugh at himself on many an occasion. I've even heard him tell jokes at his own expense. So he's got a good sense of humour most of the time. And I thought he'd enjoy it. And he clearly did. He put a very good comment on it, a whole heap of laughing emojis. Even came back at it and said he subscribed. He was a new subscriber. So he took it the way it was intended, and that was in light-hearted fun. Crofty had also laughed at it, not as many emojis as Northwoods, but she quite enjoyed it. Then a few hours later, Cynthia put a comment on it. Do you have beef with Northwoods Press? That kind of surprised me. I'd always believed Cynthia had a good sense of humour, so I didn't understand how she took it so off like that. But then many hours after that, Northwoods deleted his comment. And then the next day, in Firm Orders live chat where I was modding, he calls me a 1A hater. That same day in Four Corner Fist in the Air's live chat where Crofty was modding, he called her a 1A hater. Now I don't know how that happened, because the only thing that happened in meantime was that short, so clearly that's what prompted it. I don't know what changed between his leaving a laughing comment and calling us 1A haters. I don't know what justification he has to say 1A haters, even if my short had been malicious, which it never was. It's in no way related to 1A. So, but how on earth does he justify calling Crofty a 1A hater? I want to know, because I can't see any justification for it at all. And Northwoods, a lot of your supporters, she's mods for quite a few of them. Most of, if they're genuine 1A, they know who she is. They know she's one of the hardest working mods in 1A. and she's well respected. What possible? Please justify to your own supporters how you called her and why you called her a 1A hater. It makes no sense, none at all. So I really, really appreciate you coming along to explain it at a panel next Sunday. I asked AJOT, that's American Justice of Texas, to host the panel and to discuss this matter and make the panel. There's a few other things to be discussed about other matters in 1A, but we're going to combine it with a fundraiser for JC News Now and to help him raise legal funds to fight the ridiculous charges he's had against him that's kept him inside. That, you know, being Hamdard, and it explains to you, you've been, you know, running his story. He needs all the help he can get. So basically, think of it as a fundraiser for JC News Now, and you and I are the light entertainment. How's that? But we won't just discuss why you called Crofty and I 1A haters. This is a great opportunity to make good on a promise that you made to your supporters 5 months ago. You promised them an expose on Duke City Responder after you spent, what was it, something like 16 hours out of a 19 plus hour live slandering the man's name, assassinating his character, calling him a woman abuser, what was it, you threatened to kill someone's dog, dox someone's address. That's just a few of the things you said about the man that you claim to know nothing about. So how are you to know all that? And in the 16 hours of doing so, you provided, how many receipts was it? 0 receipts. 16 hours, 0 receipts. 16 hours and 0 receipts. You promised an expose on him to your supporters, some of who, based on your say-so, upon your testimony stating this to be true, actually went out and attacked that man in his channel based on your say-so. Others had a lot to say, denigrating that person who they didn't know, to defend someone else they didn't know, based upon your word. 16 hours and 0 receipts. I don't know what community you think you're in, but this is called the 1A community. And I've got some news for you, buddy. It's all about receipts. 16 hours, 0 receipts. Nah, that's not good enough. So you promised an expose to where you would produce those receipts that you claim to have to your supporters. That's the promise you made. Some of them put their reputation on the line based upon your word. Now, it doesn't matter whether the accusations you made were based upon what you knew or what someone else told you. They came out your mouth. You're the one that spread them. You're the one that made them. You need to provide the receipts. So at this panel, you're going to be given that opportunity to make good on the promise that you made to your supporters. Your supporters. They should have been calling you out before now. You promised them to make good on what some of them acted upon, on your word. So it's time you make good. Do what you got to do. Get your receipts. It shouldn't take you long because I know how many you have. It's a big fat 0. But hey, come with receipts or come with an apology and an explanation why you told mistruths. They might not have been yours. They might have been someone else's, but you need to explain it. 16 hours, 0 receipts. 16 hours attacking someone's character, 0 receipts. How long does it take to find a receipt? 16 hours, 0 receipts, Northwoods. It's not good enough. So bring your receipts, or bring an explanation, an admission, an apology. And don't just bring an apology to Duke. I don't really expect you would apologise. Apologise to your own supporters. Apologise to spreading mistruths to your supporters. Whether they're yours or not doesn't matter. Whether they were falsehoods that you were passing on from someone else doesn't matter. They came out your mouth. You take responsibility for them. You need to explain it to your supporters. You need to make good on the promise to produce those receipts. Because I know Cynthia put her reputation on stake. She came out and had a lot to say against Duke City. When she didn't know what was going on, she only went off what you said because she trusted your word. So I'm inviting Cynthia along to the panel. Plus, I want to know why she, thought why she took that short the way she did. Maybe she can explain that. So come along, have a chat. I know that you may be concerned and not want to go along because you have 0 receipts. So I dare you not to turn up. I dare you not to turn up. Because when you don't turn up, you'll prove to everyone that the reason you had 0 receipts is you were full of shit. So, yeah, don't turn up. Show everyone your true colours and what a coward you are. So, next Sunday, it's invite only. It won't be a free-for-all. There'll be a number of people invited. Four Corners will be invited. For the Record will be invited. These are supporters of yours. I don't want you to feel like you're being ganged up on. Cynthia, of course, will be invited. Mountain Girl, obviously, will be accompanying you. We're going to invite probably a few others. JC can't be there, so we'll invite Lucky Laptop. Firm Audits will be invited along. It was in his chat where I was modding that you came at Man Called Man, 1-0 hater. So it'd be interesting to hear what he has to say, what he thinks about it, same as with Four Corner Fist in the Air, with you going at Crofty in his chat, what he thinks about that. There'll be some others. Lawless would be a good choice. He's fairly objective. But like I said, it'll be invite only. It's not going to be free for all. We don't need certain players coming in and just taking the thing over or turning it into an absolute circus. So, yeah, hopefully I'll see you there next Sunday. I've got to tell you though, buddy, you most definitely cut the wrong one from the herd to try and melt. You really, really did. See you next Sunday.